Hello and welcome to another Lumbridge Night guide for free-to-play old school RuneScape. In this guide we're going to go through everything there is to know about fishing and cooking in the free-to-play side of OSRS. So if you want to take your cooking and fishing level from a proverbial burnt shrimp to that perfectly cooked lobster, keep watching. I can't guarantee that you'll cook everything perfectly, but you'll get better. Right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of what to do first when it comes to fishing and cooking, I want to mention quests. Free-to-play only has a small number of the quests available. In this case, I'm going to recommend you do Cook's Assistant straight away. That gets you 300 cooking experience, gets you up to level 4. Optionally, you can do X marks the spot, which will get you a 300 XP lamp, which you can put in any skill. Personally, I wouldn't use the lamp for fishing or cooking, but that's up to you. You can do it, which will get you up to level 6 cooking if you use it in tandem with Cook's Assistant, or level 4 fishing as well. That is the first piece of advice. Both those quests can be really easy done, and I have quest guides, links to which will be popping up on the screen now. So let's get into it. Now I'm going to start with fishing, so that the crux of free-to-play fishing and cooking really lies in simply fishing and cooking what you fish. That is the backbone of this guide. It's the best, most efficient method, in my opinion, at least early on, and certainly for Ironman characters, that's true. If you're just playing as a regular, I've got a couple of little tips that I'm going to throw in as well. So once you reach a certain level, there's definitely a much faster way of leveling up cooking. However, that will require a significant amount of coins, around 4 million. So I'll throw that in towards the end of the video, so keep watching to find out about that. So the first spot I recommend is fishing at Alcarid. You can do this just south of the bank. You can leave a small net, and I recommend doing this up to level 20. So you need to fish shrimp up to level 20. You'll need to fish 447 shrimp, which should get you all the way to level 20. It'll be slightly less if you've used the lamp to get you that 4 level head start. But other than that, the only thing to remember is there is a scorpion sort of to the east of your position. So if you're a hardcore Iron Man, be warned. The alternative location to this is Draenor Village. However, you do need to be higher level because there's dark wizards there who are aggressive, so I think you need to be about combat level 14 to not get the aggro from those. And that's why I've recommended Alcarid, because personally for me, I've never had any issues with the Scorpion. It's very close to the bank, arguably the same distance as the one in Draenor. And yeah, that's about all there is to say about this. Just get a full inventory and bank it, and then go back to fishing. Obviously, if you are just looking to level fishing, you can just drop the caught shrimp on the floor and just keep rinsing and repeating for faster fishing experience. I recommend we do both fishing and cooking in tandem, at least at the start. Anyway, Alcarid is also one of the best spots in free-to-play to cook, because a range is basically the building next to the bank, so you can see my character running between the two there. And basically now, just take the shrimp from the bank and cook it at the range. I personally would recommend banking the cooked and the burnt shrimp, and then when you're finished, you can just drag all the burnt ones into the bin in the bottom left corner of your bank screen, and that gets rid of them all as a wanna. You also probably want to set up your menu screen so that you can use shift clicks to drop items. Those are the two fastest way to get rid of the burnt ones. Keep the cooked ones if you want. You can just get rid of them, they're not particularly valuable, and they only heal 3 HP. So once you reach a certain level, they're not very useful either. But yeah, once you've cooked all 447 shrimp, that will get you to approximately level 30 cooking. The approximation is based on whatever percentage of burnt shrimp you get. The actual burn rate for shrimp is something about 50% when you level 1 cooking, and obviously that decreases as you level up. If we assume that you're going to lose half of the shrimp that you've caught, you'll still get to between level 20 and 25. So that's enough, because obviously we only need 15 to cook shrouds for the next bit. The next place we want to head to is the Barbarian Village. You can find the Barbarian Village to the west of Varrock, and once there you want to be on the east side. You can't really miss it because it's the only side with a river and fishing spots, so just check your map and find the right area. You'll notice that there is a campfire that's constantly lit and never goes out, and that's crucial to this phase of the guide. Before we do this, you will need to grab a fly fishing rod and at least 519 feathers, and we're going to start off fly fishing with trout. To get to level 30, which will allow us to start catching salmon, we need approximately 178 trout, assuming we start at fishing level 20. So that's 178 trout from levels 20 to 30. Each time you hit a full inventory, cook the full inventory on the fire, which will be somewhere behind you, and simply drop the trout. We're too far from a bank at this point to make it worthwhile saving the trout. They're not that valuable and they're not that great a source of food. Cooking all 178 trout should get us somewhere near 36 cooking. Probably a bit less than that due to obviously the losses, but in a perfect world that would get you to about 36. So congratulations, you can probably enter the cooking guild at about this point. It's not massively useful in this guide, but it does make some of the more complicated foods in free-to-play a little bit easier. So if you want to experiment on the more exotic foods like some of the anchovy pizzas and the apple pies, etc., you definitely want to be a member of the cooking guild. Just don't forget your chef's hat. At level 30 fishing, we are now ready to start catching salmon. Obviously, these are kind of random. You will still catch trout, you will just catch an ever-increasing percentage of salmon as you level up. So, in a perfect world, we'd be looking at 341 salmon to get us to level 40. In reality, it will probably be less than this because we'll obviously be catching trout. Once again, cook all of the fish you catch when you receive a full inventory and simply drop them. Again, the same is true of salmon as it is for trout. If you follow this mantra, this should get you somewhere near level 43 cooking. Here's where you've got to make your first big decision in the guide. In terms of fishing only, this is the fastest fishing method in free-to-play. I don't think there's a faster way of doing it. If you simply fish at these fishing points, drop each full inventory, and keep on fishing, this will generate 50 to 80k XP per hour, and it's the fastest fishing EXP in free-to-play. I would go for a slow one, and I would also cook the inventory before dropping it. If you did this all the way to 99 fishing, it would also get you to 99 cooking at the same time. However, you will need something like 225,000 feathers. So that's a lot of feathers. But you will be 99 fishing and cooking at the end of that. It's a pretty AFK method, so it's very easy, not a very high click intensity. The only real downside is obviously the cost of feathers, which is kind of substantial all the way to 99, but which can be easily obtained from feather packs at Port Sarim. For Ironmen, this is basically your fastest shot for cooking and fishing. If you are a non-iron, there are much faster ways to accelerate cooking to 99. The fastest of which we will go through at the end of the video. However, I do have one more interim step in between, which I'm going to go through now. Please like the video and support my content. Thank you, Noble Knight. Once you're level 40 fishing, and I probably recommend level 40 cooking as well, as an alternative to the fastest method, buy yourself a lobster pot, pay the 30 coin fee, and head to Karamja and head to the wharf that I'm showing you on the screen. Now, here you can cage for lobsters. Now you'll need around 713 lobsters to get to level 50, at which point you'll need to head back to Port Sarim, buy yourself a harpoon, and come back to harpoon, tuna, and what we're actually after at level 50, swordfish. Why then would we want to do this? Well, firstly, it avoids the 500,000 coin cost required for the feathers. There is a cost associated, obviously, with using the ferry to and from Karamja. However, this can be eliminated if you've completed Dragon Slayer and the Corsair Curse quest, because you can fish at the resource area there, and there's no cost in getting to and from the bank. Secondly, you can sell your lobsters for a profit of around 42k per hour, and you can expect to gain around 20k fishing XP per hour. The most efficient method of doing this, once you've got a full inventory, is to head back on the ferry to Port Sarim and use the deposit box at the docks, and then head back to Karamja and rinse and repeat. This is the same pattern for Swordies as well, and obviously it means that you need to take up an inventory space with coins to allow you to use the ferry backwards and forwards. Once you level 50 and start doing swordfish, It's recommended that you drop the tuna and just focus on full inventories of swordfish. To give you some figures, you will need around 129,331 swordfish from levels 50 to 99. So that's going to take a while. And obviously, it's random the amount of tuna you get versus swordfish. The higher level you are, the more likely you are to get swordfish. But yeah, applying the same maths, you can expect to make around 37,000 coins per hour from swordfish, so you actually make more with lobster. But you do make around the same in fishing XP, which is superior to lobbies. Once you're level 45 cooking, you'll be able to cook your swordfish, and that's it basically to 99, catch and cook swordfish. It's a lot slower than salmon, but you can't really sell salmon for a significant profit. Obviously, if you are playing as an Iron Man, it's not really that useful. I think you can sell lobsters and swordfish, raw ones, back to the fish shop in Port Sarim, but I don't think the rates are as high. Personally, if you're looking to just do pure skills, stick with the salmon method. If you are looking to make some money and you're not playing as an Iron Man, this is probably the way to do it. I would probably wait until a bit later, so maybe when you hit level 50 at the Barbarian Village, possibly then think about heading to Karamja. Another advantage is that lobsters and swordies are a really good food source in free-to-play, healing 12 and 14 hit points respectively. And yeah, it's just a bit of an alternative, but in terms of pure speed and efficiency, fishing salmon at the Barbarian Village is definitely the fastest method in free-to-play. So, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's move on to my final tip. This is kind of like a pure cooking boost that is for non-Ironmen. So if you're an Ironman, apologies, but this last tip is not going to be relevant to you at all. Once you hit level 68 cooking from doing fishing, so whether you're doing lobsters, tuna, swordfish, or salmon, once you're level 68, you need to head to the Grand Exchange and buy 62,147 jugs of water and the same amount of grapes. You're looking at a total of investment of about 4.3 million coins. You can make jugs of wine from level 35, however there's a chance that you can make a bad fermentation, so obviously that's wasted and you don't get the XP. From level 68 onwards, you can no longer make the bad batches of wine, therefore you get the full amount of XP, and if you've bought those items and they're in the bank, you can literally stand in any bank in Gelnor and basically just make jugs of wine. When these are finished fermenting, you can get some insane cooking experience rates of as high as 470 to 490k per hour once you're at that magic level 68. You can do this at low levels, but you won't make as much experience and you'll need to buy more jugs and more grapes. And yeah, that will boost your cooking up to 99 in the fastest possible way. Obviously, there's a whole host of other foods I could have gone through how to cook, such as buying pizza bases in the wilderness and making them into pizzas, etc, etc. There's different reasons why you'd want to do that, but this guide I've focused purely on the fastest way to level those skills. So in summary, the fastest way to fish is to fish salmon at the Barbarian Village. You'll need at least 225,000 feathers to do this, and cooking those at the fire that does not go out is also probably the most efficient method for Ironmen to level cooking and fishing at the same time. If you're a non-Iron, you can boost your cooking. Once you hit level 68 cooking, you can make perfect batches of wine by buying the supplies from the GE for about 4.3 million, and that will get you to 99 cooking in the fastest possible way. As an alternative, you can head to Karamja or Corsair Cove, and fishing lobster and swordies, as well as being useful food groups, can also be profitable. So, what is your method for leveling these skills? Have you got any alternatives? Please leave a comment. I read all the comments and try to incorporate feedback in all future videos, so it's much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and this is the Lumberjay Knight saying peace out. So, peace out, guys.